Well, of course, one of the main reasons we wanted to make sure we got you on the show today is because of the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of people talk about the WWE Hall of Fame, but the George Tragos Thesz Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, is one that I think people sometimes overlook a little bit, but they shouldn't, because you've got the 25th anniversary induction ceremonies coming up, and this was at the start was designed to recognize a lot of the guys that had done stuff on the amateur side of things, and has evolved over time, and you have different awards for different categories. But tell everybody a little bit about the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, how that started, and how it's evolved over the years.
Well, a good friend of mine, Mike Chapman, one of the great wrestling historians, he wrote the Dan Gable's book, the Two Dans, about Danny Hodge and Danny Gable. And originally it was supposed to be about the three Dans, and the third Dan was going to be who? Dan Severn, because Dan was such a hot shot in college wrestling. They ended up getting beat as the last senior year. So Mike changed it to the two Dan, Danny Hodge and Dan Gable, of course. So Mike was a really close friend. Mike Ben and I were really close friends with Coach Gable, and the only amateur wrestling museum in the entire United States was located in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where Jack and I went to school at Oklahoma State University. So Mike wanted Iowa to have something equal. So he was a huge pro wrestling fan. He was instrumental in getting in Humboldt, Iowa, getting that statue of Frank Gotch erected there. Did the fundraisers, and he did so much for so. When he opened the museum, he opened it. Okay, there's going to be a true museum honoring wrestling, and so he, of course, the main focus with Dan Gable was the Dan Gable Museum, Dan Gable International Museum. But he also put a pro wing in there. And who better at the time? We're talking 25 years ago. The great, incomparable Lou Thesz and George Tragos, who was Lou's trainer. That's how Tragos got involved. And Tragos' son now is an international trader, importer, exporter out in the LA area, and still lends his support both financially and verbally and mentally to the museum there. So Mike had the museum, and as things go, through the years, there became some political issues sprout up. So Mike resigned his post. So the Pro Wrestling Museum, after Mike resigned, wow, I mean, the pro wrestling part of it started sliding. We went from being the biggest event, and it was in Newton, Iowa, biggest event of the year for the museum, down to just a 3-day day, down to just one day where the guys basically came in and got their award. So it was dying both financially and morally, it was dying because there was nothing there to do. So Mike was asked to resign because the museum was going downhill. So when he resigned, the Stillwater chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, which is strictly amateur wrestling at the Stillwater there, the director is an Oklahoma State guy like I am and Jack is, and he called me and he said, "Hey, Brisco, we need your help. We need your help at the Waterloo, Iowa Museum." And I said, "Well, the word's on the street that you're going to kill the thing in a couple of years. I don't want to go out there and then be the one that, that it dies, the leadership that it dies underneath. And so unless I get your word that we're going to be there as long as that museum's in existence, then I don't want any part of it. I don't want to be the one that killed the Dan Gable Museum. Had Dan Gable come look at me.
That'd be bad.
Yeah, it'd be bad for all of us." And so he said, "Brisco, I give you my word as a cowboy. As long as I'm in charge of this museum, which I'm going to be here as long as I live, then you're going to be in charge of that museum up there, the wing of the George Tragos Thesz wing." And there's several. There's a Greco wing, there's freestyle wing, folk wing, and of course there's professional. He said, I said, "Well, I want to take it back where it's a 3-day event. I'm not going to do a 1-day event." He said, "It's yours. You do what you want to do with it. Just keep it under budget." Key word, right? Keep it under budget.
Right.
We had no budget, so all of our budget comes from donors and volunteers and everything. So I accepted the challenge, and man, that was about 12 years ago, and now we're coming up on our 25th. And the last few years since COVID, we set record after record, and this year we're already on pace to shatter last year's record turnout. So being the 25th, plus we just got a star-studded cast with Arn Anderson, Tony Schiavone, the great Tony Gurria, Dr. Tom Pritchard as trainer, Greg Gagne. We got them from all the old territory, the AWA, NWA, and all the other organizations. We got award winners from all those guys to kind of honor and celebrate the 25th year.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be an awesome celebration for 3 days out there. I've got to get out there.
You got to get out there. Talk about it. I come out to Vegas all the time for that Cauliflower Alley thing that they put on out there, and Brian Blair does a great job. Him and his staff does a great job out there. So if I can get out to Vegas, I know Waterloo ain't no Las Vegas, but it's right there by the Field of Dreams. If you're a baseball fan, if you're a rock and roll fan, it's not too far from where the great Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and all those guys' airplane went down. They got a site and a monument there at the last concert that they played there. There's a lot to do in Waterloo. Plus, the museum will occupy your day for at least 2 days of the 3 days you're out there.
Yeah. Plus, hopefully we're getting some more Penn State guys in there, by the way.
Well, I'm an open Penn State guy. Just come out and try to learn something from my Cowboys out there. They're trying to share that knowledge. Everybody's on me. Well, you got Penn State, Oklahoma State's going to be Penn State. Let's get something real straight here. David Taylor, was a great young man, was coached by Kel Sanderson, right? One of the greatest all-time runners. You know who Kel Sanderson was coached by?
Yeah, I'm waiting. Go ahead. Hit us with
Coach Bobby Douglas, who was a teammate of Jack and my freshman coach at Oklahoma State University. So that makes David Taylor Oklahoma State Cowboy second generation, or whatever the hell you want to say. So.
All right, Gerald. Yeah, I'm from PA, so yeah.
Okay,
I know.
What a job Kel has done out there. But it's that Oklahoma State coaching that Kel had his background. So.
All right. Well, I'll give you a few points for that. I'll give you a few. We'll give you a near fall.
Thank you. How many points near fall now? There's 2, 3, and 4 near fall.
I can only give you.
Four. You gotta give me a 4 count.
I'm only giving you a 3. I can only give you 3.
I'll take 3. That along with 3-point takedown, my head 6-0 already. So.
Oh man, that means I'm done. There's no way I'm coming back.
Back from that.
Nope. But yeah, but it is going to be a great time. So, Gerald, where can everybody get tickets and information about coming out?
On Twitter, Facebook, TNT, HOF, TNT Hall of Fame.